Right, so what do we got here? Well, it's the 10th Cooper's amp. You beaut. So it's an amplifier? Well, I guess so. It says www.thecoopersamp.com.au. Okay. It's got a battery compartment at the back. Takes 3 AA batteries. It's got a USB connector. It's got some screw holes. And that's it. So I guess it's a Bluetooth amplifier, is it? It doesn't say Bluetooth anywhere. Hang on, I'll just check the website. That doesn't look so good. It's not secure. I don't think I want to go there. Okay, that makes a bit more sense. So the amp is a competition for Australian music, and it was sponsored by Coopers, the brewing company. Obviously for a while. This is the 10th Cooper's amp. Okay. Begins to make a little more sense. Well, there's a couple for sale on the internet. Yeah. It's a promo amp. Great. Has a USB lead, correct. Doesn't say it's Bluetooth though. I mean, it's got to be Bluetooth. Amazing. How can you release an amplifier with absolutely no information about it whatsoever? It's not a Bluetooth amplifier, it's just an amplifier. Oh well. I don't know why I'm getting upset. It's clearly a Bluetooth amplifier. I just spent 5 minutes looking on the internet trying to figure out what the hell it was, and then as you can see, once I turn it on, there's no Bluetooth appears on my phone. So unless there's some form of method of causing it to pair, which isn't obvious to me, I really don't know. That's where the instructions would be great, Coopers. Just anything. So I'm guessing it's Bluetooth. Okay. Battery's out. With a bit of luck, this will be easy to pull apart. Okay. Looking promising. Hey, that's it. Wow. All the heft of this amplifier actually comes from the speaker. So the speaker isn't absolute rubbish. It's actually quite nice. So maybe this will actually be a decent amplifier. Well, not decent, but not absolute rubbish, if I can get it to work. So there looks to be 2 boards in here. One on this side, where the USB connection comes in, and that must be the power. Yeah, that's the power switch. And of course the battery leads also go into there, so that's just turning it on. And then there is a really small, dodgy amplifier board over here. That's got about 6 components on it. Yeah. I mean, it's got... Oh, no. Could that possibly be Bluetooth? I've got to stop saying Bluetooth. That's weird. It doesn't look as though there's enough components on there to actually be a Bluetooth amplifier. Oh well. So will I be able to get that out? I think I need to remove the knobs to get the board out. What's the bet they're glued in? Give it a big pull. No. No. Something's going to have to be broken to get this out. That's what I'm thinking. Give me a sec. All right. Let's just try brute force. Oh. Okay, just pushed on. That's good. Same with this one. Yes. Okay. So I might try and remove the power side first because looks like there's less going on. Oh, okay. There's a little sort of a screw with a potentiometer, potenti something, the pot. So just unscrew that and voila, it just drops straight out. Come on. Here we go. Sweet. Okay. I'm trying to refrain from saying Bluetooth because I have this horrible feeling that it's not Bluetooth and I don't know how it works. It wouldn't be... Is there such a thing as a USB amplifier where you plug it into your computer and it becomes an amplifier? No, that doesn't make any sense because why is it battery powered? Okay. Well, I think I might desolder this so that I can have a closer look at the circuit board. I might desolder this as well, and then I'll be able to put it under the microscope and have a look. Hey, so this is the first board. This is the one with the USB input into it. There's not much going on there. Take a look at this side. Ooh, it's crusty. Very crusty. It's the USB input on that side. Looks quite... Is that burnt? Maybe not. It's just flux. That's where the pot is connected. I mean, there's nothing going on. It just looks like a power board. And then this is the other board, the amplifier board. A couple of capacitors on that side. And it's resistors and a few capacitors. And just this sort of heat shield, a heat sink, which I guess there's a chip underneath. Yeah, with some thermal paste on it. And surely that's just an amplifying circuit. But what's it amplifying? Where's my damn Bluetooth? I'm missing something. I'm gonna feel like such an idiot in a minute when I find that there's a plug for you to connect something in. But for the life of me, I can't figure this out. I'm going to go and search the internet for this board name. 2014. Okay. And if I can't find anything, then I think I'm going to desolder this heatsink and see what the chip is that's underneath it. I guess it could be some special Bluetooth in a chip without an aerial. Or maybe that's not a heatsink, maybe that's an aerial. Oh, I don't know. I am perplexed. Might not have to desolder this. It looks like it's soldered at one end here, but the other end it's just poking through the circuit board. It's just a tab that's bent over. So if I can just bend that tab back. Oh, it's very springy. It's certainly doing a good job of holding itself in place. It does feel as though if I put enough force in the right direction, I don't want to use brute force. At least I do. Okay. So let's just bend it back. See what this chip is. Whoops. That was not so smart. So I have literally bent that back. I don't think it actually does anything except earth it. So if I need to put it back on, I can scrape off some of this, solder it back on, but I won't go the whole way, but that gives us the chip, access to the chip. And Can't get some of this heatsink compound off it and see if there's a number under there. What have we got here? I'm going to have to get the microscope out. It's way too small. I better go and look that up. Well, that chip is just like a 50-cent audio amplifier, mono audio amplifier chip. As far as I can tell, it doesn't, I mean, clearly it can't be Bluetooth because there's no antenna, there's no special circuitry. And this is just a normal mini amplifying chip. I don't know whether you're going to be able to see this or not, but I just went to one of the listings on the internet for eBay. I don't know if I can. No, I can't. Can't zoom in, but I don't know if you can see this, but to me it looks as though that is a 3.5mm stereo jack. I think it needs a special USB connection, and I think what's happening is it's got a USB-A on this side and it's got the USB micro, whatever it's called, on the other side, and there's a 3.5 mono jack attached to it. And I think what they're doing is they're using the USB 5 volts to power it, but where the data lines would normally go to onto a computer, you would transfer data over the lines. I think they're just using that to have a stereo signal go into that amplifier. I think that's what it is. You mongrels. It needs a proprietary cable. And nowhere at all on the internet does it give any indication of that at all. You utter mongrels. But, okay. Now I think I know what I need to do. I put this back together and I'll wire up an audio connection to the data lines of a USB cable and see if we can't get it to work. Okay, so I've wired everything back together. I've wired in this jack, and now it's time to turn it on. See what happens. So I have a little radio here plugged in. Man, those are our fans. I want those 15,000 fans to be able to look at what other fans get to see North America. So the answer is everywhere we play is an option for not those. Period. Well, that's interesting. So it works, but the volume doesn't work. Doesn't change. Doesn't, no matter how much I turn it up. Okay. Well, I thought maybe something wouldn't go 100% right. Because what I did was I soldered I simply soldered this stereo jack, but in mono, directly to the pads here that go to the other board. So clearly that's where the signal ends up going to this board over here, which has the amplifier on it. But obviously, if I'm right and the signal is coming through the USB, then there's a bit of circuitry here that the signal that comes in from the USB connection runs through before it pops out here. And what I'm thinking is maybe the pot or the volume control is actually is part of that. And so what I need to do is I need to find the whichever pin here is where it comes in off the USB connection and put the signal in there so that the volume can be adjusted. All right, so in the end what I did was I soldered it onto this pin here, and my reasoning for that is I just simply followed the trace. It goes around here and it goes through here. Basically it ends up at one side of the pot over here, so I figured that that was part of the circuit. Actually, it would have been so much simpler just to solder it over there instead of trying to solder it onto this pin. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It's soldered now. So let's turn it on and see what happens. Yep. And now I've got volume. Cool. Okay, so the next step is to put it all back together. And obviously I will need to drill a hole in the side to put this plug in. And when that's done, I should have a working amplifier. Okay, so it's all back together. Time to test it out. I've got my new input jack. Let's turn it on and see what happens. Yeah, better turn it up. It's a heavy metal channel. So the tone works. Not that you can tell with that. Oh, that's horrendous. I did want to play you the soothing sounds of Herbie Mann and his flute, the album Reggae, but unfortunately the tape deck does not work on here. It needs the belt replacing on the drive, and that's what I'm going to do in my next video. I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, please consider giving me a thumbs up and subscribing.